Buying Zcash today is like buying Bitcoin at $350, Zcash at $10,000, and the private Bitcoin that Satoshi would have wanted to create. In the last 2 months, Zcash has exploded, going from $40 to over $700, and suddenly everyone is talking about it like it's the discovery of the century. But is this narrative organic, or are we witnessing a coordinated pump? Today, I won't explain what Zcash is. I'll tell you whether it makes sense to listen to those telling you to buy it. To understand the debate, you only need 3 key concepts about Zcash. 1, the private Bitcoin. It was created in 2016 with the same DNA as Bitcoin: proof of work, a maximum supply of 21 million, and a halving every 4 years. 2, zero-knowledge technology. Zcash literally invented the practical use of ZK proofs in cryptocurrencies. This allows transactions to be verified without revealing the sender, recipients, or amount. 3, optional privacy. Unlike others like Monero, Zcash allows for transparent transactions, T-address, or private ones, Z-address shielded. This is fundamental for the compliant privacy narrative. This is the project. Now let's see why the bulls are convinced that it's Zcash's moment. The bullish narrative is extremely strong right now and is based on a central idea. Bitcoin has won as a store of value, but it has failed as private money. Zcash feels like that. Let's analyze their main pieces. Thesis 1. Privacy is the next big narrative, and Zcash is compliant. Supporters say that privacy used to be a dirty word until yesterday, but now even institutions and new administrations understand that you can't use a public blockchain for everything. Zcash, with its selective privacy, is the perfect solution for compliant privacy. 1. The need for privacy is real and fundamental. However, there's a huge difference between recognizing the need for privacy and adopting Zcash on a large scale. Regulators, especially in Europe, are increasing the pressure on privacy coins, not decreasing it. Calling Zcash compliant is optimistic. For many exchanges, it's still too risky to list. Thesis 2. The cypherpunk Pedigree is the superior technology. This is a strong thesis. Zcash was created by the world's top cryptographers. It has the support of figures like Vitalik and even Edward Snowden. And their ZK technology is what now powers Ethereum's Layer 2s. Moreover, it's optimistic, 8 times faster than Bitcoin and costs just cents per transaction. 1. Technically, Zcash is a gem. The team is absolutely top tier. But be careful. Zcash invented the technology, but it no longer has a monopoly on it. ZK proofs are everywhere now. Being first doesn't mean being the ultimate winner. And speed, while great, is no longer a differentiating factor in 2025. Thesis 3. The math of 100 times. This is an argument that attracts traders. Zcash's market cap is about 0.25% of Bitcoins. Influencers claim that if Zcash captured even just 10% of Bitcoin's value as private money, the price would be $14,000, a 40-fold increase from here. First, this is pure speculation based on arbitrary comparisons. It's based on the assumption that the private money market, POV, should be worth a fixed percentage of Bitcoin. There's no guarantee that Zcash will dominate that market, nor that the market will ever reach that size. This is marketing based on FOMO, not fundamental analysis. The problem is that almost no one is criticizing Zcash right now. But if we look at the data and history, there are several critical points that are being ignored. Critical point number 1. The founder's tax, the founder's rewards. This is the elephant in the room. Zcash didn't have an ICO or a pre-mine, but it does have the founder's rewards. A significant percentage of every mined block, currently 20%, doesn't go to the miners, but is diverted to fund the development of the electric coin company, which is for profit, and the foundation. Although this funds development, which is a good thing, it creates massive centralization of the supply in the hands of the founders and the company, and is in stark contrast to the decentralized ethos of Bitcoin that Zcash claims to emulate. They have changed this tax several times instead of removing it, which makes purists raise their eyebrows. Critical point number 2. Real adoption is stagnant. If we look at on-chain data, adoption isn't explosive. The number of daily transactions is historically low, between 20,000 and 50,000. There was a recent spike up to 90,000, but it came after the price pump, indicating speculative, not organic activity. Hash power has also been stagnant since 2021. 1. The data doesn't lie. Zcash remains extremely niche. The recent surge isn't driven by utility, but by price speculation. Critical point number 3. Competition and optional privacy. Skeptics point out that in the privacy sector, Monero, XMR, is still the king. Monero is used more than twice as much as Zcash. Moreover, Zcash's optional privacy is a weak point. If only 25 to 30% of the coins are shielded, private, it means that 70% of the time Zcash is used transparently. 1. This is crucial. Optional privacy compromises fungibility. If you need real privacy, Monero is often considered a more reliable tool, even though Zcash's ZK technology is superior. Let's sum it up. Okay, let's put the pieces together. The bulls are right about the quality of the technology and its importance. The fundamental importance of privacy in the digital future, but they are hugely overestimating current adoption and underestimating regulatory risks and issues of economic centralization. What's missing from the conversation? No one is talking about the fact that the current pump seems strangely coordinated. When you see dozens of big accounts pushing the same narrative at the same time with the same arguments, you have to ask yourself who's orchestrating it. The price trend in recent months hasn't had any solid fundamental justification before the valve. Who is Zcash for? It's for the ideological investor, the true cyberpunk who believes in privacy as a fundamental human right, appreciates zero-knowledge technology, and is willing to bet long-term despite the centralization issues. Who should ignore it? Anyone who's chasing the pomp hoping for a quick 100 times. Anyone who's not comfortable with the regulatory risk of listing or with the Founders Award economic model. My final verdict is Zcash. It's a technologically brilliant project with an impressive pedigree and one of the most legitimate projects in the privacy space. However, as things stand, it's extremely overvalued compared to its actual adoption. The narrative of it being the new Bitcoin is misleading because of its tokenomics choices. In reality, the current situation is, in my opinion, extremely speculative and coordinated. It's not sustainable in the short term. The hype has far outpaced the fundamentals. The influencers you should follow aren't the ones promising you the moon by comparing Zcash to Bitcoin in 2015. They're the ones who coldly analyze the volume of shielded transactions and keep an eye on what regulators are doing. Be extremely careful. Right now, the risk of getting burned by chasing this pump is extremely high. Crystal clear. Let's stay alert and analyze the data, not the promises. Bye.